Hi everyone, my name's Catherine J or Catherine Ellis, and this is a podium talk. So we don't do podium talks that often. This is part of our F7 Building Blocks to Freedom. So we're on YouTube. In the future we'll probably have on different sites, so if anything happens with any of the different tech companies or anything, you'll still be able to get to us. So just a reminder with that, im2.tv. So the organisation's called Imagineering to a Better World, but there's a little shortcut there, im2.tv, and then you can still find us. You can sign up for our newsletter, but also you can click on the links to find us, where you can find blogs, podcasts and YouTube videos or videos. Okay, welcome to our new series. This series of the podium talks this year will actually be starting off with a futurist solution too. So it's a blog series that I've been writing for probably the last year or 18 months. And so I look at different industries, different sectors in society, and it's just having a futurist solution to that. So I define a futurist as someone who studies the past, who studies best practice from around the world for the present, and then also for the future, looking at trends and what I believe. There's a theory that's taught in business circles. I think it's called Theory U. I believe Imagineering to a Better World is like that. I believe that there is an amazing future. There's an amazing vision that we each have that's desiring to come about. So we can choose to come into agreement with that. So with a futurist solution too, it's about looking at the past, the present and the future, choosing which one you want to be going for, and then you work with other like-minded people and you use your own skills, knowledge, expertise to bring that about. We've just been filming a table talk this morning and the media came up. So with a futurist solution too, usually what it is we look at the past and then we look at the present. And so in the distant past, media was fabulous. So it would be things like, people would research, there would be integrity, and people could look at the news and it was to be unbiased. However, what it has become, we know that for some reason there's this thinking, which I don't think is right, is that fear makes newspapers sell. Yes, fear can make newspapers sell, but I would say hope even more so. So that's one of the things that I'll be talking about here. And also that media has become more of a political propaganda machine or political correctness machine. So most of the mainstream media is owned by the similar group of companies. So they're telling the same narrative. So in America, just an example, I can't remember where I read the research, but there was something, and it's been quoted numerous places, that basically I think it's 90% of coverage of Donald Trump in America is seen to be negative. Whereas if you had a traditional newspaper, news media, then you would at least have 50-50. So yeah, that's just an example. And that's something that everyone should just be able to see, whether you're a Trump supporter or you're not a Trump supporter. Okay, so basically in recent years, it's even been what's trending on Twitter has become the news. It's opinion, it's not fact. So I take this really seriously, especially as an English teacher, and I hope all other English teachers and history teachers and people share that, especially in Australia, because we're supposed to offer the alternate point of view. But what I'm finding is, as people go through the generations, they don't realise that they're looking at something from a particular point of view, because it's been coming through the education at the university level with the textbooks. So they think something is a fact when actuality, no, that's just like a political agenda that's just been going on for a long time. So what I would like you to imagine instead, because it's Imagineering. So imagine plus engineering, so a practical way to get to that vision. So you can close your eyes if you like or not. Imagine a media that was based on truth and accuracy, where they have at least two or three separate sources that corroborate the story, trustworthy sources that are not that don't have a conflict of interest. This is one of the main issues with media these days. We've got people even who are advising on government policy who have a financial interest in pushing their agenda. So imagine if we had unbiased people and truth and accuracy. Imagine that it was independent. It's not written on behalf of special interests or with a political or a corporate bias. Imagine a media that was based on fairness and impartiality. Imagine that we had a media that was based on humanity and on being what was good, and that it was fair and was just. Imagine that we had a media that was accountable. So even if they were printing fake news stories or fake conspiracy theories, that they would actually make an error, and if they made an error, that they would acknowledge it. Just that last one, a proviso. There's been many people that believe that Donald Trump, for example, is going to be there for 4 more years. And there's quite a few prophets or people that hear from God, and they're saying, yes, they've seen these different things. My suggestion with that is wait and see. Wait and see. We haven't had a new president announced just yet. Yes, absolutely. We've just had the president-elect become confirmed on the 6th. However, even that, they didn't go through the due process of the discrepancies and the potential fraud with the election process. So there was, numerous, politicians in the US that said, okay, we want the people of America to have just to feel calm and to know that all of their votes have been counted. So they quite rightly said, okay, let's do an audit where they can go through, they can check these Dominion machines, do all this different stuff, which is very reasonable. We would do that even in a small little vote, even at schools or something. It's just a normal thing. So fair. So imagine all of those wonderful things. I believe that they're coming back. I believe that it's even better. Like it will be even better than before. The reason that I say that, I'm just going to speak this out now, and I'm going to speak it into being. Imagine that we had the media that was based on principles of hope and justice and righteousness, that there was a more balanced view of the world, that we shared different perspectives. Imagine that we had a simple formula of 2/3 good stories, positive stories, and the third that are negative stories, that as long as it includes ways to bring about the solution to overcome the issues. Examples of this might be, and I did see a glimpse of this during the fires at the beginning of 2020, where even though the fires were really sad, people lost their houses, devastating, and people died. It was horrible. And especially, and I just really feel for the people in Perth and around Perth and different places around the world that are having fires at the moment. But obviously my home state of Western Australia, there are massive fires. So I just pray, Lord, that you look after especially all the emergency service workers, especially the fireys who do just such an amazing job. And what I saw at that time was that when people reported on it, that they also had ways that you could donate, also ways that you could be part of the solution. Other ways that you could be part of a solution of a negative story could be by joining local groups, like a local drug action group, like a think tank session to brainstorm solutions. We actually offer that through Imagineering. You could become part of a prayer group. You could write submissions to parliamentarians, or at the very least sign petitions. So I believe in the future that we will have a media that is based on hope and righteousness and justice. News media where there is truth and accuracy, where there is independence, where there is fairness and impartiality, where there is humanity and accountability. So I hope that you are inspired by this. I hope that you will join us. im2.tv, sign up for our newsletter and click on and follow, like us on, if we're still on YouTube or different places. And I totally believe that we can change the world one day at a time, one person at a time, one decision at a time. Thanks for watching.